All right, we're going to start with a 16 by 16 base, and we're going to make this about 2 bricks tall, put us a nice little border around it. And the first thing we're going to do here is get a floor down. I want to have an older medieval style square floor, and let's go ahead and put some tiles down and see how that looks. I have used some of these corner tiles in order to make a square motif that is perpendicular to us, even while on a diagonally shaped vignette here. All right, next thing that we need to do is build a 1 brick high base for this. Let's start out with putting this on here to get the back side. That's what we need there. And then we need to have a border. I think we're going to do a black border around this. And the way we're going to accomplish that is with some of these very nice modified plate brick pieces, right? Where the studs, unlike normal snot technique bricks, these have the studs to where they are flush with the bottom. Let's go ahead and put these here. I've pre-made a few of these. All right. See how these go in here. The purpose for doing this on the bottom is that we want these studs to be flush down here rather than using the modified bricks up here, which would leave us with a bunch of studs up here. We don't want that for this build, okay? So here is our border that I've gone ahead and made. Very simple, but effective. Elegant for this build. Let's go ahead and get that on there. And let's do this side over here as well. Okay, now this looks good. Okay, wonderful. Now, the next step we need to do is start thinking about our walls. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of a structure here first, and then we'll think about our windows second. So what I think we're going to do is start with something simple here. How about a 2x4 plate and some of these 1x2x5 bricks, as I believe they're called. Okay. And then what we're going to do is take a couple of these garage door slot pieces. All right. I really like these, by the way. I like these pieces. And then let's take some 1x1 round bricks, otherwise known as cylinders. Put them in here, and then we have ourselves a nice castle brick motif. We'll try this out right here. Okay. And we'll go ahead and get our second one for this side over here. Put this in. Okay. Now, for the back, let's go ahead and think about that. We're going to want to have a corner here that looks tasteful. So let's go ahead and add this plate in here. We'll put one of these nice little modified, these newer style last few years of tiles have been great coming out. And let's add some more of the light bluish gray wall pieces. Okay, now what we're going to do, the color won't matter in the back corner so much, so I've got a whole lot of these 2x2 corner bricks. We're just going to go ahead and put these in here like so. All right, and then we will probably take some slopes on their sides and just drop them in right here later to round out our back wall. Now, what we're going to do in here for the windows, we're going to have some arches here. Very nice sunken in arches, offset. And as the arches terminate at their, let's call them their boots, we'll have them flare out. So let's go ahead and do a bit of an offset here. And you'll see how this turns out. It should be flush with what we want to do. All right, so let's go ahead and get these put in like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to take simple design here again, slopes, and some of these 3 brick high pieces. And let's try placing these in here like this. Okay, now we're going to have our arch boots come down like this. Okay, hopefully all this works out. Very good. Okay, now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and take some 2x6 plates and let's build the inside of the window sections like this. We'll go ahead and get these placed in here. If I can fit these in here. All right. Okay, that is good. And let's do this side over here. Go ahead and press these apart a little bit. And of course you got to tear it up. All right, there we go. Now, let's think about our windows. We'll come back in a second. All right, so here is how I have designed these arches, right? And what we're going to do is have these windows such that they fit like this, right? That looks good, I think. Okay. So first thing that I notice we need to do here is go ahead and finish this side, right, of the motif to make it symmetrical on either side of the window, right? You have this design, we'll repeat it over there. Okay, so there's that. And I went ahead and built the walls. We don't need to see this entire tedious process. Really, the concept is just we need a wall, you know, have it look like nice, you know, brick architecture, and then have a place to attach, right, our arches. Okay, simple enough. Now, what I have done here on the back is we've got two 1x2x5 translucent orange pieces here. Got them just standing behind here, and what we want, I want a certain atmosphere of kind of a bleak, you know, fall, winter day where there's a little bit of light coming in, the sun's setting, and it's a bit of an orange hue, kind of a dead hue coming in through the windows, right? So that is how we're going to do this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and get these placed in here. We'll see how this looks, right? There's this one, okay? And then for the same, for the other side, right? Nothing special there. Go ahead and get this placed here. And if our bricks pieces will cooperate, fantastic. Okay. Now, there we go. We'll get this sorted out and flush with each other here in a moment. And then let's try and see if we got this right. I think I've got my geometries correct here. Let's go ahead and press this in on those modified bricks. All right. Look at that. That looks good. Okay, let's do the same with this side over here. And as I've built the other side, again, I wanted to show that there's been some decay, some entropy, right? And so this one is going to be slightly different, slightly damaged, right? So not quite the same as the other one. Let's go ahead and hook this in here like that. That pressed in. Okay. Wonderful. We have our windows now. That looks good. See, that wasn't too hard. Looks great. Wasn't too hard. Simple and straightforward. Okay. Now, let us go ahead and square this off up here. We'll go ahead and do this right quick so that these pieces are snug with each other. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and make that flush. Looks like I missed a plate. All right, now there's that. Okay. Now, for our next section, we are going to go ahead and get our slope pieces, right? And we're going to go ahead and start with this right here. Okay, and let's go ahead and extend this out like this. See about dropping this in right here. And this will give us a nice enough corner back here, like so. There we go. That'll work. Now, for our next portion of this project, let's go ahead and get some of our larger arch pieces in here. See how that turns out. All right, we're going to go ahead and use these arch pieces right here. See if these fit. Okay. Put them on either side, like so, and look at that. Fits just right, okay? And we're going to go ahead and do the same on the other side. Okay. Look at that. Now all we need to do is fill in the brick around here. And I'm going to go ahead and put some modified snot bricks right here and right here, because we're going to hang some banners, some of the king's banners on either side of this. So we'll come back in a second after I've built that. Okay, so I built this up. Like I said, it's just putting brick on brick, so no need to show the entire tedious process there. But here we're going to go ahead and finish this off like so. And put a little bit of decoration here. Okay, now we're looking good. All right. For our next portion here, what we need to do is finish up the top, I think. We'll come back here in a second and do that. And then we're going to look at doing the throne. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this here. And then we'll use some of these that should fit in here nicely. Okay, there we go. And we'll put one here. That'll finish that off nice and flush. And then right here, we've got a 2-plate difference in height. So what we're going to do to solve this is use a couple of these plates and just drop these right on here. And that will work well. That looks good. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, let me go get some black plates, and we're going to match the black motif down here, and we'll be right back in a second and finish off the top. All right, I got everything I needed now, and let's go ahead and get started on the final portion of the top up here. Make all this look nice. Okay. And we'll take a few plates right here. And this is a nice part of the build when you can really line everything up, get everything secure. You know, the walls, they like to not line up very well with each other. Now we're going to extend this out a bit because we're going to put some decorations here on the wall that I want these walls to come out over. So let's go ahead and do this. All right. And we'll put this here on this side. All right. And we'll finish it off like so. Now all we need to do to make this really look nice is tile it off. So let's do that real quick here with my very nice black tile collection. Okay. All right. And we'll use these very nice newer style tile pieces that we did not have when I was a kid, but I am thankful that we have now today. Very nice. Right? We'll just put a few of these 2x2 tiles on the rest of the stretch. Okay. these on there. A few more back here. And we'll use some more of these corner pieces like we used on the floor. Use one right there. That'll look good. All right. And then we can finish off this little section. All right. Very good. Another one of these there. Very handy little pieces. And we are just about done. Good. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and think about our throne. I want this throne, I don't want it to be Tudor's style where it's wood. I want an older, like medieval style stone throne with a bit of a wooden chair on top. And what I would like to do is have the king, the dead king, slumped over in his chair as if a plague had wiped out his kingdom and no one ever came to get his body. Just the whole thing stopped with him right there. So we'll come back here in a second and start building the throne. Here we go. So let's start out with a 4x6 piece. And let's get a spot in here for the bit of this chair that's going to be wooden. The rest of this is going to be stone, all right? And let's put this on the side here. It's a slab on which everything sits. And then we're going to slightly offset the backdrop of this. And then we'll do it one more to have the chair go upwards in grandeur. Okay, so there's that. Let's go ahead and take this little section that I have pre-built right here. Just a couple bricks there, nothing special. There we go, and then we'll offset it one more time. And we'll just do a pair of dark bluish gray bricks like this. See, very simple, straightforward. And we'll put this piece in here. And this little Technic modified 1x2 brick will look really good for an old medieval cross hollowed out of the king's chair. And we'll put some of these little ornate designs on the top. Very good. For a chair, let's go ahead and put a bit of a wooden chair here in the base so the king has some comfort, right? Use this little piece right here, put that in there, okay. And then we'll take a couple brown plates and then put a 1x3 tile on it, okay, like so. Here we go. Nice chair, right? A nice simple chair design there. All right. Now, we're going to do something interesting for the king. All right, so we have the king right here, and you notice I do not have any legs on him. We're going to build some legs for the king. Now, I want him, having been slumped over in this chair, I want him to appear to be under a blanket. You know, he's sick. I want him to be under a blanket here. So let's go ahead and start with a dark red, right? A regal color. All right, and let's have one of his legs extending out like this under the blanket, okay? And then we'll have another one of his legs closer in towards the chair. Now, see that? All right, you see the effect? Okay, and I've gone ahead, just to save us a little time here, and built the bottom of the king's blanket that is draped out here. Okay, let's go ahead and attach that. Okay. And then here's the other side, and a little bit different, whereas this is a rounded off plate piece. This is a triangle piece. Let's put that in there. And so now it looks like the king's blanket is draped over his legs, like so. Now, what we're going to do with the king, all right? You notice that I actually used one of these newer style Black Falcons pieces that I picked up at a Lego store a year or two ago. Put a minifig skull head in there, the king, and we're going to raise this arm slightly here, and here's how we're going to affect this king slumped over in his chair. We're not actually going to connect it in there, right? I've raised his left arm like this, and we're going to kind of rest him in here. All right, let's go ahead and get that in there. There we go. Now, the effect here is that you see the king, and it looks like he's just kind of slumped down in his chair, head flopped over to the side, and you see how it looks like his legs are there under his blanket. Right? Very nice. Okay, so there's our king. Now what we need to do is connect the throne into our vignette here. We're going to take this piece, color doesn't matter, and we're just going to stick it there. You notice I left this part of the floor blank. All right, and let's just find a good spot for the king. Go ahead and connect him in here like so. All right, looks like I found a good stud spot. Very nice. Okay, so there he is. So now you've got the king with the windows on either side, slumped down at his throne. Very nice. And let's start adding in some of the detail on the walls, okay? And my OCD is kicking in, and I need to tighten down some of these walls here. All right. Let's come back. I will work on some of these decorations here, and we'll see about attaching these in. Okay, so ideally what we're going to have here is some banners that hang down, all right? And I'd like to have them be very old and torn. They're not going to be in good condition anymore. Let's go ahead and put our pieces in here for our banners. Let's go ahead and attach this here first. I think that'll be easier. All right. And then what we've got here is some chains hanging from there. And now you can see why we extended this top portion out. Okay, and that is the platform from which we will hang our first banner. And nothing special here. A few plates. And I've got, this is one of my favorite colors, by the way, dark green. And I had just enough here to make a banner on this side. And then we'll go ahead and connect it here. Hopefully I can pull this off very well. Hopefully we don't break any of the brackets there. That's good. All right. Let's take a look at this. Yes. All right, go ahead and stop shaking there. Very good. Now, what we're going to do, since no one has been into the king's chamber in quite a while, I went ahead and designed a little piece of fabric that has the piece of fabric that has fallen down. Let's go ahead and put that in there like that. All right. Now, it looks like that part has crumbled and fallen down right there. It has met that portion of the floor. Okay, let's do our other side. And much like with these windows and having this part damaged over here, we're going to repeat that process so that it's not all completely symmetrical. Damage never is symmetrical. Entropy is not symmetrical. So we're going to go ahead and leave this one not completely intact anymore. You can see where we're going to have it where this bar slipped out and the entire thing came down. So let's go ahead and fit this in right here. Okay, now the idea behind this is that some brick from the roof up here has fallen down from the ceiling, hit this, busted it up, and then, nailed part of the window dressing right here, and it's all fallen down along with the banner. All right, now let's go ahead and put some debris on the floor. There's that. And let's go ahead and put a little bit of debris right here. We could probably stand to add some more, but I like this. This is good. So some of the debris just out here laying around. Okay, and now let's add a little bit of a spider's web back here. Let's just have this developing behind the king, like so. Maybe I can hide the bar piece back there a little bit. Let's try that. Let's try hiding that back there. Oh, looks okay. There we go. That's good. That's good. Okay. Now, here's what I would like to do. You know, no king is going to have his throne without his attendant drinks, tables. Let's go ahead and put this table down there like this. Let's not attach it to anything. Let's just, it has fallen over, okay? And of course, the king's goblet. Let's have that down here as well. The whole thing's just kind of fallen down. Leave it like that. And for some accessories here. Now, I bought 3 of these shields. They were from, I think, a minifigure, one of the collector's minifigure items. I just bought the shields a while back. They were not cheap. I'm actually embarrassed to say how much I paid for them, but they're just gorgeous shields. And so we will, well, let's just have one of these shields laying there like that. And for another added touch, the king died, his sword at his side. Let's have it just kind of right here like this. I don't know, something like that. The king died, slumped over in his chamber, in his throne, like so. There we go. Now, all we need to do is set up the nice aesthetic, set up some light back here so the light comes in and shines down on the king, a dark, gloomy setting. The king has died and his entire staff with him. A plague wiped everything out, wiped out the people, and the kingdom's been abandoned, a dead kingdom for hundreds of years. So there we go, everybody. We are done with this little vignette build. Let's go ahead and take a look at the after photos.